For Eva's Corner this week, I wanted to talk about parents that are single parents, and then they decide, and they have custody of their children. The children are basically with them 100% of the time. So at what point as a parent, a sole parent, do you allow for your significant other to become a parent to your child? So I remember when I first had Marley, and Mike was introduced into her life, and not to get a little bit emotional, but it's a real situation. I remember her understanding or learning the concept of what dad was and trying to figure out what that meant for her. She knew who mom was. She knew who she was, but she was trying to understand, like, so what is this dad thing? And I remember crying to Mike all the time, you know, feeling like, what am I going to do with my little girl who wants to know what a dad is and trying to understand what that means to her?
Right.
And fortunately, we ended up becoming husband and wife, and he is her father. But, you know, at what point as a mom or even a single dad that has, you know, a son or a daughter that, you know, your kid starts looking for that other parent?
Well,
like, at what point do you start to step up to the plate, Rick?
It's not a time thing. Once the mother feels comfortable, and you know, and not that the child is like introduced, like Marley, here's Mike.
Right.
You know, sometimes like, hey, y'all show up, we meet up somewhere. You know, we all having fun together, and hey, this is Mr. You know, Mrs. Mike or whatever. I had when I got my daughters, they were 2.
Okay.
They were 2 years old. Dee was 2, and Aaron was 1.5, 2. Or whatever. So I had them pretty much their whole life. And, you know, once the chemistry developed or whatever, you know, and it's like, even, well, I ain't gonna make it about that, but even when the relationship ends, or whatever, I never went to pick up my son and did not pick up
his sister,
Dee, who's my daughter. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
It ain't cool. It's not good. That means that you didn't love her to begin with, that your love was fake. Or whatever, and you don't do that to a child. The child look at you and think that you see you in the light,
parental
image.
light.
Absolutely. And just whenever the mother feels comfortable, if you feel like it's a good guy, even if you feel like it's a good guy, if the relationship don't work out, that he's still gonna stick around and be there for the kid.
Important.
And that's a conversation to have. Say, hey, let me ask you a question. Because I know sometimes relationships don't work out. Because one thing we don't do, we always operate off of feeling good. We never get a clear understanding. Before I introduce you to my son and my daughter, let me ask you, if something happens and the relationship don't work out, are you still willing to be a part of my son or daughter's life? Because once we start this or whatever, I can go through it, but they can't go through it.
Right.
They already don't have a dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So tell me this one, Rick. At what point do you discipline your significant other's child? So I have a brother, and my brother has a girl, and they have a child together, but she had a child before their child together.
Right.
And it's a little boy. The little boy bad. Let's just call a spade a spade. This little boy is bad, and he needs some discipline. But my brother doesn't feel like it is his place to discipline this little boy.
It's his place to discipline the child if the child is in the house. So what you gonna do? Just let the child, because that child that's 2 or 3 years old is gonna be 13 and 16 one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's gonna be 13, 16, 17, 18. So if you don't get that child under control and get some discipline and structure now, or whatever, it's gonna be a problem when he turns 17, 18. You're gonna be able to get him to do nothing. So you ain't got to kick no kid's ass necessarily, but there are some good discipline methods, and you can train a child, you know, because he's in your house. That's your child. If that child eat one bowl of cereal, he's yours.
Yeah.
One bowl of cereal up under my roof, you mine. You belong to me. You know, I got nieces and nephews, all that kind of stuff. And you just have to do. My grandma said, if you can train a dog, you can train a child.
It's so
or
true.
whatever. And you just have to, you know, leave them a little something to make them think that you at least a little crazy. Every now and then, go in the kitchen, take a plate out of the cabinet, and just slam it on the floor and let it shatter and just walk out. You have to do that every blue moon.
Trauma.
Every blue moon, and then to go in your room and slam your door and just sit in there and then crack the door and listen to them quietly sweep up the glass. Let their ass know you're crazy. Just a little bit.
These are just, some of those things that I really wanted to put on your brain and have you thinking about moms and dads out there that are in relationships with people that are not the biological parents of your kids.
Right.
Because it's necessary. These kids are seeing what's going on and they're trying to register it. So I just want us to be conscious.
But the main thing, have the conversation, as they say in church, out of all your getting, get an understanding.
Amen.
There it is, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, Special K got top 5 up next.